Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to Bubble Wrap, our 15th consecutive and last late night show here to recap the big NBA games and news from Thursday, August 13th in Disney World. Shout out to everyone joining us live right on YouTube and everyone listening to the podcast a little later on the Athletic Network, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your No Dunks classics. Oh boy, I'm JD Skeets, fired up, and joining us tonight, as always, we got Tass Mellis.
Honestly, NBA, what a job. What a job. That felt great to watch that game right now.
We've got the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. International man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
And last but not least, making the magic happen tonight, JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. The MegaBowl is officially set. Blazers, Grizzlies, game one goes down Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Wow, you're right, Tass. It's like it's scripted, man. The games we got today, 2 weeks plus into the bubble seeding games, and we were still getting some beauties. The poor Suns, will get to them in their game and their season down here, their little mini season, the bubble season, going 8-0 and still coming up short. But the Blazers defeat the Nets, the one we just watched. It just wrapped up. 134-133. I know what you're thinking. Skeets, triple overtime? That's awesome. Nope. Just 48 minutes of basketball. Not a lot of defense, but it doesn't matter. Blazers pulled it out. Lillard did his thing, and Caris LeVert at the buzzer, Tass. Yeah, not the greatest look, a little off balance. It's a jumper. He wasn't attacking the rim like he had been all game, but it misses. Blazers get the rebound and the W, and they're the 8th seed. What'd you think of that shot in this game?
Well, yeah, it looked like that fourth quarter was just on some video game where it was on easy mode. Like everybody was just jumping up, letting it rip, and it was going down. And it was phenomenal from Dame's steal where he kind of lulled Caris LeVert to sleep, and the ball just kind of came loose after a tiny bump. It just seemed like this was the Blazers' night. But then Caris LeVert, the play before he misses it, takes Gary Trent to absolute school. Drives in. Gary Trent was just feet behind him. There was you can measure in centimeters, you can measure in inches. He was multiple feet behind him. Melo misses on the other end. Then this is Caris LeVert's game. 1-on-5. He waits and waits and waits till the clock ticks down. But I was okay watching it because it seems like against this Blazers defense, he could get to wherever he wants. And then to pull up against CJ McCollum, who a better defender than Gary Trent Jr., but it was just arms flailing at Caris LeVert. I mean, he could have gone by CJ for something in the middle of the lane because I don't think he would have been impeded by Yusuf Nurkic. And so I was really surprised when that ball rimmed out. Just shocked the way he was able to hit shots tonight. A fantastic fourth quarter.
Oh, man. I mean, Lillard and the Blazers, they had 12 minutes there to save their season. They were entering the fourth quarter. I think it was down 7. Lee, your butthole must have been tight because you were on here the other night saying, the Nets, they're going to beat the Blazers, you fools. That was a wrap for sure. They're going to win, so they're in. You're ultimately right. But my God, the Nets put up a fight, and it got very, very close, basically as close as you could get there. What'd you think?
Yeah, well, when Lillard is pulling up from the logo, they were knocking that in. I felt pretty confident that he's going to get it. But he must have been going crazy himself down at the in those last few minutes because they couldn't get a rebound. Every time Brooklyn missed a shot, the ball went back to them in some way. And really, the Blazers are pretty lucky that the Nets weren't able to really capitalize on that because they just couldn't get one. And then, Lillard, he was doing everything he can, diving on the ball, getting that steal. And CJ finally, someone else sort of hit a shot and made a play for themselves as well. And because if he gets off the court and they lose this game after everything he's done in these last 4 or 5 games, I mean, he's not the sort of guy who's going to call out his teammates, but man, he could be justified in doing so because he was doing everything out there, putting it all on the line, hitting those shots. And you could see a couple of times, I think, when he came over halfway, the Nets were picking him up as soon as he came over halfway, and Dame was kind of like, well, I really should pass it here, but I'm not sure if I want to do that because he just had he really only had confidence in himself. I mean, Yusuf Nurkic, credit to him because he looked gassed at the end. But Lillard
That's
still
a big
found him.
dude. I know, he's not stopping a lot of guys, but he's running back and forth for 40 minutes or so, whatever he played in this game. You're right. He was he had nothing left in him. It wasn't a lot to begin defensively as it was, but oh my God, yeah. And Melo did hit he missed a couple, but he hit one big one there too. He always hits like a timely three when there is like, get the ball out of Dame's hands, get it, let somebody else shoot it. And he had one of those. And McCollum had a really good overall game, and then the little lockdown defense at the end, or at least helping get LeVert into a jump shot there instead of having him drive. Yeah. And he's playing with a fractured, back. He's got a pretty severe injury. That explains why I was questioning the other night. I was like, why didn't CJ McCollum hit the ground there for a very key loose ball? This was a couple of games ago or whatever. Well, now it makes sense. I mean, the guy's obviously playing through some pain, but yeah, you're right about Lillard. I mean, if they had lost this, wow. I mean, yeah, I don't think he would have. He would have been like, this is on me. I feel like he is that type of sort of leader. Like, I could have done more, whatever. But I think he would have been lying through his teeth if he had said that, because not much else he could do offensively, right, Trey?
I loved what he said post game. He was asked about taking that shot from the logo. He's like, yeah, I saw they were doubling me, but I didn't want to just make the right play the whole night. I had to go to bed knowing that I did everything I could, and that includes taking a 36-footer with, I mean, that's a huge logo they've got out there, but still, he was 2 solid feet inside the logo. That was amazing. That was worth yelling about. And,
I think the Blazers logo is bigger though. Even it's like wider. That was close to the midcourt line.
No doubt. That was amazing. But like you guys are saying, it felt like highlight for the Blazers and then an immediate basket on the other end for the Nets with just an easy little layup, and then a highlight for the Blazers, and then a basket very easily at the net for the Nets. And that's why it was a little shocking to see LeVert take so much time at the end there before actually settling for an outside jumper. If he goes to the rim, he'd been at the rim most of the night. And if he wasn't at the rim, they were tipping the ball back out. You get another chance at it, but I don't know. I was happy to see the Blazers actually be able to pull it out. It was cool that it came down to be a 1-point game. Are you kidding me? It's like the fact that the play-in game between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves a couple of years back went into overtime. These games are just destined to be perfect. The Nets could have mailed it in, but they didn't, and it was awesome. That was a great game.
Oh
yeah, I mean, if Raptors fans are watching this game, it's not going to be a cakewalk. I'm sorry, it's not. The Nets are scrappy. They've got guys that can hit shots. Karis LeVert, when the ball is in his hands, is their star player. He could be trouble. Now, the Raptors actually play defense, and that will help. But, again, Tass, I don't know about you, but Raptors are going to beat them. But I do not think it's going to be a sweep, and nor do I think it's going to be very easy. And that's fine. That's, again, I've said it a million times. You want a bit of a challenge if you have title aspirations. Maybe that's good. But I'm just like, hats off to Jacques Vaughn and those guys, like Trey said, all those guys, like, they're playing for nothing. They're the 7th seed. They've been gone from their families for a long time. They're in this weird bubble environment. Easily could have mailed this one in. Easily. Some of us thought they would, Lee, right? We didn't think a lot of those guys would even play those many minutes tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, just going back to LeVert there for a sec, I felt a bit sorry for Terry Stotts because he had Gary Trent Jr. on him, who had 5 fouls and was getting devoured by him. But who else could he have put on him? He wasn't going to put Dame on him. Dame was doing too much. CJ,
they don't have wing defenders.
I know, that's what I mean. So, like LeVert just going in there, feeding on Gary Trent Jr. And then that last play, it's crazy to me, a team when they're trailing runs the clock out. You've got to get your shot up way quicker than that. If you score and then Lillard hits a bomb at the buzzer to beat you, like, hats off to him. But you want to have that lead rather than playing from behind, because in the case where LeVert takes that bad shot, and that it was a bad shot, too late in the clock as well, there was no time for them to get a second look or to get an offensive rebound. So I think that's bad clock management, but that's you learn from that, I expect. But when you're behind and you're basically a miss, which more often happens than it doesn't, it favors the team that's ahead, and that's the wrong mentality to take in there. You got to get your shot up way quicker than that. But, he had a great game otherwise, LeVert, and, he deserved to take the last shot. But I just thought that was a bad one.
Do you think the NBA would notice if the Blazers brought in Trevor Ariza like tomorrow and just started quarantining him? Like, he is on their roster. I know.
Could they legally do it?
I don't think so. Unless he's like on their form that they filed with the league beforehand.
There's nothing in the rule book that says Trevor Ariza can't play basketball. His name's right here.
It's either going to be Air Bud or Trevor Ariza playing.
I mean, he would help. He would definitely help be a long guy on somebody like LeVert. Like, they just need somebody that has the awareness. Like, Melo just doesn't have it. He's flat-footed out there. Gary Trent's dancing out there. They're lacking it for sure. But I was okay with them lacking it because it was a blast going back and forth either way. And Damian Lillard, he said that post game. He also said that I've watched 3 of their games and I know they're scrappers, they're fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's out there watching these games. Apparently, I guess they have it on channel 1 in the hotel room. You can just flick it on and watch all these games because. He said they're in for a battle, and as you said, Skeets, I'm looking forward to our Eastern Conference preview to see how this has changed people's view on Raptors Nets because it's definitely changed mine. Their win over the Bucks was the Nets win over the Bucks was something, but this is something even bigger. But I'm still not changing my prediction. No way. First sweep in franchise history, baby.
I don't think so. Save it though. Save it.
Save it.
Hey, Skeets, you want to parlay a bet here? I bet
go on.
Karis LeVert will be an all-star before Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh man, see that's a way to throw that out there. That's very smart, but I might agree with you. But that would be a good bet maybe to take for me, like to counter you, because I'm sorry, this won't be the Karis LeVert when KD and Kyrie are there. He
Things
needs
change
the ball
next
in his
year
hand
for sure.
Yeah,
Trade him somewhere though. I don't know.
Oh.
At the best though, he'll probably end up a 6th man on the Nets, right? Like he'll come in and be their Lou Williams or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that LeVert and SGA, their games are so similar. They're not crazy athletic, but they just do such a good job of getting around their guy and finishing with weird little floaters and just tough shots. They move very similarly to me. So I don't know, maybe he can be my American homer.
Oh, that's interesting.
LeVert would have been an all-star a couple of years ago if he didn't get hurt, I think, when D'Angelo Russell made it. So I don't know if that counts if you can retro market, but
well, that's also a concern with LeVert, to be honest, but he's awesome when he's out there.
Yeah. Remember we were like throwing out like hypothetical trades and I threw out something like getting Spencer Dinwiddie to the Magic or something like that. You guys remember that? I don't know how long ago that was now. Man,
Spencer
you imagine the
Aaron
Magic
Gordon.
would love something like Karis LeVert on their team. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Score like that would be huge. The only thing I'll push back on your SGA Karis LeVert comparison, Trey. I hear you. It is weird. It's interesting. SGA to me is so smooth, where Karis LeVert is so herky jerky. Yeah, that's so. But I also get your comparison because they do somehow score the same type of basket. That's a weird one. I want to think on that a little bit. But let me think about the bet too, the parlay that you're throwing out there.
Sure.
JD, I actually wanted to get your opinion on something, and Trey especially, and all you guys, because you all watched Survivor this year when we did our podcast. I saw Ghostface Ziller tweet, teams that get eliminated shower and then hit the airport immediately, right? Did Dame pack his room, or is he really betting on himself? Now, he was tweeting this during the game Ziller did right near the end. Now, I wanted to get your take on that, JD, because I was about to tweet, but I got too caught up in the game. It was too back and forth. On Survivor, more times than not, the cocky Survivor contestant that doesn't bring their stuff to Tribal Council, just leaves their bag, leaves their clothes, and like, I'm not going home. Those are the people that can get blindsided and go home. So, what do you think Dame did? Like, I don't know.
His closet and dresser were full in the presidential suite. He did not pack. Come on. He bet on himself. You could tell. So
yeah. I agree with that.
There's no way. I mean, he did not pack. It just seems outrageous to me that he would have a bag packed by the door. That just does not seem like Dame Lillard to me. But what do I know?
Yeah, who knows? I wish Chris Haynes had asked him that question. One more question. Did you pack your bag? What's going on here? Did you keep everything in your drawer?
It definitely seemed like he didn't want to go home with an idol in his pocket, pulling up from 36 feet in the 4th quarter. That's an immunity idol in itself. Like, oh, you think you're getting rid of me? No, in your face from Jerry West.
Yeah. Jeff, Kevin Harlan, I'd like to play something. I've got something in my bag here that I would like to play.
He's trying to get idols off the set of Tribal Council.
Yeah. He's grasping at
pulling
straws.
up all the logos.
Oh man, it was awesome. Again, I feel bad for the Suns, but it's pretty exciting to have Damian Lillard on the run that he's on right now. I'm going to be playing obviously in a marquee game on ABC. I don't know what the ratings will do for a Grizzlies Blazers game to just be the 8th seed, or maybe then of course to have a second game, but it's a superstar in this league and he's in this game. And that's someone that loves Devin Booker too. So I do feel bad for them. Anything else to add to this Blazers Nets game? Task, you got anything?
Well, just to throw in, watching him go, possession after possession after possession, seeing a double team come at him, seeing a bunch of different defenses come at him, and he had to make so many decisions. He only had one turnover tonight, which is astonishing to me. They couldn't figure him out, and he just knows exactly how much gas he has left in the tank. Like he walked off the court there with 0 left in there. Like he could have gone another half mile maybe, and he's done. But he saved it for the fourth quarter, and it was going like crazy. And he knew when he made that steal and he gave up the ball to CJ McCollum, and he said, "Slow it down. Like let's bounce some air out of that ball." And he put a lot of trust into CJ that possession. CJ paid him right back. But he just, I don't know. He's a master right now. He's peak Lillard, and not too many people care about the bubble MVP, but he is definitely in the conversation.
Oh yeah, did he wrap it up by getting his team into the play-in game? Like, would Booker have won it if the Suns had gotten in? You know, if Karis LeVert-Lee hits that shot, do you think it changes the bubble vote? Because I assume they haven't voted on it yet.
I'm guessing they're waiting until after tomorrour game.
I would think so, or maybe at least now after tonight. Yeah,
I think I can't see it going to Booker though. Now, when you look at Lillard's last 4 games, he's averaged probably 45 or something like that. So
it might be more.
His last 40. I mean, he's had 51, 61. What did he have? 39 tonight, and I think he only had 21.
42 tonight. And he had 45 against the Nuggets, wasn't it? I think something like that.
I thought he had a 20 in there though before those. Anyway, he's whatever. I mean, he's taken his team, because I think the Blazers were given not much chance to make it, and he's carried them in there. So, and now I think they go in as favorite against the Grizzlies. I mean, I think they have to go in as favorite just from the experience and just seeing what Lillard's done.
And so, because the Suns did go 8-0.
Yeah. I mean, I actually think if the Suns had gotten in, that Booker might get it. I think it might have just been weird to give bubble MVP to a guy that was not going to be playing in the play-in or playoffs. It could have been a little strange. Maybe that's actually like a little like, hey, here's a parting gift on your way out of Orlando. But I don't know. I do think Lillard won it if he hadn't already won it, because I think a lot of people may have been voting for him anyway. Well, let's get to the other games. The Grizzlies, they're the other team. The Grizzlies are in this thing. They defeated the Bucks 119-106. Very important to our pick'em payoff. We'll get to later in the show, but strong start in this one. I thought the Grizzlies looked they were playing their best basketball in a long time down there. I've watched a lot of these Grizzlies games too, but Dylan Brooks, he was on fire, and the defense was active, and you had John Morant attacking, and helped that Jonas Valanciunas maybe had the best game of his career. I mean, like 12 assists for Jonas Valanciunas. What was his career high before that? 5? I bet. Maybe 4 or 5 that he racked up at one point. So that's amazing. And John Morant also with a triple double. So that was a quality win. Now, no Giannis for the Bucks, and they were missing a lot of shots that Milwaukee can hit. Chris Middleton, unfortunately, Tass, I saw you were tweeting about it. You were excited heading into the game, at least. The idea that he could join the 50, 40, 90 club, had to hit some shots there from the floor, and he did not. So he
love me some numbers, but no, he did not. It was unfortunate. Just shy. I think everybody on that Bucks team, it's hard to just label guys as not really caring today, but they didn't care as much as the Grizzlies. Let's say that. They weren't out there scrapping as hard. And those guys didn't play a lot. And so this game was a bit of a dud. It was a double-digit lead, basically. Once the third quarter hit, and then it was done. But it's this Grizzlies team is just so hit or miss. They'll be able to find a lot of points against this Blazers team on Saturday, because we've talked about the Blazers defense not really all up in your grill, and Dylan Brooks is such a key to this team. Really, he's the barometer. You're going to get what you're going to get from Ja and Jonas. You're not going to get a lot of offense from Kyle Anderson and Anthony Tolliver. But Dylan Brooks, if that weird release that's not really a gooseneck, and those weird floaters are going, and they could, if you don't pressure him, then they're going to have a good game. And he somehow found it. He was flicking them up, and they were going down, and he has a 30-point game. There's no way they're losing that game.
Yeah, he started on fire and he kept it going. You're right. So the Grizzlies versus the Blazers. What'd you think of the Grizzlies today, Lee? Did you like what you saw?
Well, this was like, if they couldn't win this game, then they didn't deserve to be in the bubble. I mean, the Bucks clearly, when Bud basically sat everyone down and just said,
"Do you think Bud did Taylor Jenkins a favor?"
I think it helped that they have a prior history. Sure. Yeah. I mean, why not? Like he's not going to just completely mail it in, but at the same time, he's happy to help out his friend, I think. So, nothing wrong with that. That sort of stuff happens. But Dylan Brooks, he has kind of got it going a little bit in those last 3 or 4 games, which if the Grizzlies have any hope against the Blazers and then potentially further on, he has to be somewhat of a reliable scorer. He's hit 20 in 4 of his last 5, including 31 today, because he started off pretty bad, shooting the ball badly and not scoring all that much. So his shooting has improved. It's still not great, but clearly, Ja Morant is going to do the bulk of the scoring, I would think. But Brooks has to be able to give them 25 a night, I think, from here on out, if they're going to have any chance of just, obviously beating the Blazers first and then against the Lakers. So encouraging signs that maybe he's just, he just had a little bit of rust and now he's starting to shake it off. But without Jaren Jackson, it's going to be tough for the Grizzlies, I think. I mean, Valanciunas was good today, but
I'm excited for Valanciunas versus Nurk.
Hell yeah. Wow.
Banging bodies.
Did you see him spin on Brook Lopez today? Like the slowest sort of fadeaway of all time. So, yeah, good on the Grizzlies. Good on him. I mean, we all, not all of us picked against them, but it looked like the Bucks, if the Bucks had sort of put in maybe 75 to 80% today, I think would have won that game, but they didn't. So they lived to fight the Grizz.
I wonder if Giannis doesn't head bump / head butt Mo Wagner and he plays in this, but limited minutes, let's say, like, they give him a good 20 to 25 minutes. Is that still enough? Just Giannis being in there to maybe take the Bucks to victory. I have no idea. I'm not sure. It sure helps.
You're talking about the head butterfly effect, I think.
Yes, exactly. What did you take away anything from this game, Trey? Or if we want to get into it a little bit, do the Grizzlies have a chance against the Blazers?
You would think they have more of a chance after watching today. Just the fact that they got 11 threes from their starting lineup. Like, that's huge. Like Tess is saying, you're not expecting a lot of offense out of Kyle Anderson or Anthony Tolliver. The thing you hope happens is that they hit threes, and today they did. Same with Dylan Brooks. If he's hitting shots, they've got a higher chance of putting some points on the board, and that's going to be key against the Blazers because they're going to score. You're going to have shots. You got to make them. So a little bit more encouraging. You'd rather be on a hot streak going into a game that you have to win than the other way around.
Yeah. I thought Kyle Anderson did actually a pretty good job on Middleton too. I know Chris just missed some shots that he would normally make, but that guy's long. He's slow-mo is, for whatever reason, he can stick with you. Just his wingspan is insane for a guy his size. So I thought he did a great job, admirable job on him. I think it was Henry Abbott, True Hoop, tweet this too, which is just a fascinating little wrinkle to this. You have to imagine that when the Players Association and the league were trying to figure out this bubble, guys, like this idea of like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play these 8 games each. And everybody's, of course, like jockeying for seeding. And, we'll get our 8 teams in there. And you have to assume the Grizzlies were like, hold on. We're up like 3.5 games. And then the league's like, well, yeah, but we want to play in, and they're like, well, okay, you want to play in? Yeah, I get it. You want drum up like, support and gets maybe casual fans into it and the winner go home March Madness vibe. But we're the 8th seed, so you're going to have to beat us twice. You know what I mean? Like, they must have been the one pushing for that because the league would probably want like a 1 game, 1 and you're in. Like, why wouldn't the league want that? That's just awesome. And so now the Grizzlies, in fighting for that, now this is a hypothetical, but I think it makes some sense, in fighting for that are now the 9th seed and actually are now doing themselves a disservice by having to win twice. I think there's probably some truth to that because who else is asking for, well, hold on, if the 9th seed beats us, then the 8th seed gets another shot, I think, right?
That's fair. Now the Grizzlies or the Blazers got to go knockout punch on Saturday, and then that talk is done because no matter what. But yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. Who else would want that?
Right.
Would you want that in the league office? Potential for just 2 games, an extra game? Why the heck not? Just to get some more ratings on a Sunday.
I guess maybe, but it feels like the league it'd prefer like, oh yeah, one game and you're in. It's that's awesome. That's huge. And then the Grizzlies are like, no, that's not awesome because we're probably going to be the 8 seeds. And we are up enough that we have put in the work to deserve like a bit more of a chance. And there's no home court advantage. So what the hell? I don't know.
Oh yeah, we definitely talked about that as an advantage for the Grizzlies when it was announced, but it's kind of like a classic parenting technique, right? Like you have one kid choose the portions for the 2 kids. They're going to choose a bigger portion for themselves, and then you give it to the other kid and they're like, "Oh." That's why you got to be fair at all times. That's the lesson there. If the Grizzlies would have just accepted it, all they would have had to do, get that one win.
Man, that's a kicker. Well, speaking of being fair, I don't know. What do you think of this? The Suns, they beat the Mavs 128-102. They hammered them. This was a beatdown. Suns stayed unbeaten in these seeding games. The perfect 8-0 coming through. It's one of my better predictions of all time. I told everybody, one team, I don't know who it's going to be, but at least one team's going to stay perfect. And it's the Suns, for crying out loud. They had a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs before entering the bubble. And of course, they come up short. No doing of their own, not at least down here in Orlando. The rest of the season, yes. But, you're seeing a lot of people, Lee, like, what the hell? That ain't fair. They went perfect. They couldn't do anything more you asked of them. And they still don't get into this play-in series, into the MegaBowl. This is bogus. This is dumb. That doesn't make sense. Put them in. What is your response to that?
No, bad luck to the Suns. I mean, they were too far back. Great on them to go down there and go 8-0, but you can't just put someone in because they had a great run and it's a good story to put them in. I mean, they should have done the work throughout the season. So it's been incredibly fun watching them. They've been a team that has sort of maybe made a case that they could be a legit team next year. I know it's a little bit hard to take out of this, but they got the pieces there, and when they all come together, maybe they're a chance. But you can't just have the Cinderella feel and say, well, you did 8-0, so you can go in at the expense of someone else. I mean, that would be a little bit silly, but I'm happy for Monty Williams, actually. It's good to see him there having some success, because this franchise has been a disaster for, like 5 to 10 years now. Really, since Steve Nash left, they've been a disaster. And they've had a lot of coaches, and now maybe this is them turning the corner, but they've got plenty to take away. Devin Booker said that after the game as well. He's like, you know what, we got plenty to take out of this. They worked hard and they had the right mindset. So, maybe he's maturing into a star. Whether him and Ayton can become a 1-2 combo, then great. You've got 2 pieces of the puzzle there. You just need to surround it with some other quality pieces. And it looks like they have, Cameron Johnson looks like he could be a decent player there.
Rubio. Bridges and Cam Johnson look like, in theory, the prototype 3-and-D type guys that you would want around a superstar like Booker. Yeah. And then a big like Ayton. I think that checks out. I mean, it's still, of course, very early. And I think even Shaq on the broadcast tonight was like, this is a feel-good story. It's awesome they're 8-0, but this is weird. Let's see them do it in a regular season where there's travel and where it's just more normal and all that. He's got a point, but you're a lot more excited about their chances, led by Monty Williams and what they've done here, and maybe the maturation of Devin Booker, that it's okay to get excited. It's okay right now. I mean, I threw up a poll. I threw up the poll. How many games will they win next year? Yeah. What do you think?
Wow. What did you put in the poll? Or what do I think?
I just said, like, if it's let's pretend it's a full 82 game schedule, which it probably won't be. Let's just pretend though. I mean, are you going 15 to 25, 26 to 35? 36 to 45, like, where do you put them, or more than that?
Probably that second bracket, I think, still. I mean, it's
so hard you don't see the Suns winning 40 games. Still.
I mean, what do they win this year in the end? 34 with a great run there. They were 26 and 39. So, to sort of have to win another 5 on top of that. I mean, it's just tough in that Western Conference. So,
you could talk me into it. Yeah. Imagine if DeAndre Ayton, what if Ayton wasn't suspended for 25 games? Yeah, maybe they pick up another couple of wins there because he looked pretty good in the bub. I don't know. You just got to feel a little encouraged. They got to do something to commemorate it, you would think, right? The only team to go 8-0 in a seating environment like this that has never happened, get jackets, get rings, hats, t-shirts. I don't know what it is, but they got to do something about it, because you got to be excited as a Suns fan. Your good players are looking great, and they actually look like they fit well together. It's not just flashes of talent, right? It looks like a cohesive unit. So I don't know if Suns fans have to be excited, but I got to agree with Shaq a little bit. We got to see it in a real season. Of course, if it doesn't happen next season, or if it does, maybe people will be like, well, this one was delayed anyway. So,
Yeah. I mean, you don't
can't win, but they look great and they were a feel good story. But also, it was very hard to be rooting against Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
In that Blazers game, right? It's like, that was a tough one. That was a tough call.
And also, not to be a Debbie Downer, but their last 3 games, I mean, the Thunder, they were resting players. The Sixers were without Embiid and Ben Simmons, and then the Mavs didn't show up today. So they did get 3 breaks there as well, for those last 3 games to close out. So, they still won them, but
they weren't like skating by in those games, though. It was a bit of a beatdown. Like they were damn good. I like what I see from them. I'm buying in. I mean, I think if they flirted with 40 again, if it was an 82 game schedule, that'd be huge. If they're just flirting with the 8 seed, even if they don't get in again, it's exciting.
Not to be I'll be an Yuri Upper. Well, let me try to find another U name. A Ulysses Upper? No. I'll be an Ursula Upper here.
There you go.
And the fact that they got 34 wins here, this is also a truncated season. There's not 82 games in this season either. So yeah, there's some extra wins to be had. But it's totally true. Shaq is totally right. This does feel like an AAU tournament. Even the Nets out there watching them and how they're performing with no crowds, no opposing crowds, none of that. It definitely feels like there's just some Cinderella, some luck to be had in an environment like this. What they got to do is go home and fix that Phoenix home court disadvantage that they got. I mean, they struggle at home and they're good on the road. If I'm looking at the standings right, I think they're the only team that's better on the road than they are at home. Something going on. They don't feel amazing at home. Even before they came down here, that it's not just like they had 8 road games down here and that just adjusted their schedule or their numbers. They're lacking something there. But yeah, of course, you got to be seriously pumped if you're a Phoenix Suns fan to have some dreams of 500. Like you're probably this year or last year's Minnesota Timberwolves. It seems like every year they come in with some hopes of that nature. Yeah, you're that team now that should be dreaming of the 8th seed in the Western Conference. Why not? Why the heck not? Everything's in line. You mentioned all their guys, and Rubio's a decent guy to bring them all together, and their bench is. I don't think they're really overachieving when a guy like Saric, who's been around, is decent, and on down the line. Like I believe in campaign, even though some don't. I think there's enough guys there.
Javon Carter's been great. Yeah. Well, they're doing things to address that home court disadvantage, as we know, Tess. They're doing all those video boards. Their project that they keep talking about on every broadcast. They're redoing the arena. So maybe that'll help once there's fans ever into the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Meet you at the stick. I think those commercials could be a little better. Okay. I'm not sure they're in HD, or are they? I mean, they're not really popping out to me. I guess they're using a lot of CGI.
Yes,
and so I get that. But hey, smart idea. The arena's empty. Get down there, create some jobs, go fix some stuff up. Make it a great arena. I was just at the Hawks arena. It feels so different than it did a couple of years ago. Like now I've gotten used to it. The fact you can walk around the whole thing. I don't know why I'm talking about Phillips Arena, but it's just you put in a couple $100 million, no biggie. And that's the thing. That's the problem with the Suns. They've been on the cheap. Now it's time to get some nice suites in there. Things will change. Things will change just like that.
Did you guys see Monty Williams' speech to the team after the game? Lee, did you happen to catch that?
No, it's
if everyone's like catching this live or listening to the podcast, seek that out if you haven't. There's a great. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Suns, of course, shared it, and then it got passed around. It's just him, of course. It's him talking to the team and how proud he is of what they've done, and like this is before even the Blazers Nets game, so they don't even know if they're in. But he's like, it ultimately doesn't even matter because we came down here to do what we did, and I'm really proud of you guys. It's pretty emotional. Like you want to run through a wall for the guy. So it's great. Things are looking good. We also have to say goodbye to a streak. A round of applause, I guess, for the Spurs 22-year playoff streak. 22 years. All right. That is wild. How long have we been doing this show now, Tass and JD? We started 15 years?
2006, January of 2006. Right?
So we will This will be the first time we'll ever do playoff previews, any sort of playoff stuff without talking about the Spurs at some point. Think of that.
Mhm.
It's crazy. And it was another 7 years before that. Back when we were in
I can't
Ryerson.
believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I went through that their franchise history today because it is remarkable. They've been in the league for 44 years in the NBA. Technically, they've won the championship 5 times and they've missed the playoffs 5 times.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's a little nuts when you think about it like that.
Lee, who you rocking there today? Ginobili jersey? What do you got?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how you feeling, man? You're the biggest Spurs fan I know.
I'm a bit like Pop, he was just like, what streak? What are you talking about? It was going to come to an end at some point. But on top of that, I think there's only been 4 seasons in their history they haven't had an all-star, which is truly remarkable as well. I think the streak basically went back to when Duncan came along as well. So this year they didn't have one. I think that's the first time in 22 years they haven't had an all-star, which is incredible when you think about that as well. So the big question will be really what Pop does now. And he kind of was asked about that after the game, and he said, why wouldn't I keep coaching? But I don't think he's going to use that opportunity to announce that he's not coming back. So
this guy's still holding it. He's hanging it up, man.
I think once he gets back to San Antonio and cools down, that's when he's just going to release a little press release and just say, that's it, I'm done. So I'll hold on to it for now. Why not?
Wow.
You've heard I'm back. Now there's I'm done.
Yeah. There was no way he was just going to answer that question. It was like, yeah, you know what? I am actually done. Thanks for everything, guys. I'm out of here, because he just wants to get out of those press conferences. He doesn't like them.
That'd be an easy way to get out of the press conference. Yeah, I'm out of here. Bye. See ya. Never again. That's pretty incredible that the streak is over, but they played really well down here. I remember when we were firing this up, there was a lot of talk of people saying the Spurs are going to go like 0-8 or 1-7. Like they might be the worst team down here because they're going to lean. There's no Aldridge. They're going to lean heavily into their development of some guys you don't even know, and that'll be fine. And they won't care that they're going to not make the playoffs, stuff like that. And they won a lot of games, a lot of games, and got a lot of great reps for their young guys. Fun race. My God, unbelievable. That worked about as well as it could for the NBA, this whole MegaBowl thing. I mean, if you forget the Eastern Conference, don't worry about that. And now we'll see if the games on Saturday and then maybe Sunday can also live up to the hype, because it's not done. It's still the Grizzlies and Blazers, and got a little matinee there on Saturday and then maybe another one on Sunday. If the Grizzlies can have Dylan Brooks hit another 30 and John Morant, they can play some defense and try and get the ball out of Damian Lillard's hands, and maybe the other guys can't come through. But I feel like, and I know we're going to get to it later, the vibe I'm getting from everyone here, I feel like everyone likes the Blazers' chances to actually play the Lakers. Is that right?
Yeah, you're reading the Zoom room correctly.
I'm reading the Zoom room. Okay. I
think so.
Okay.
So how do you take the Grizzlies?
Well, the thing is, I guess the only thing really is how CJ is. If that back is, it's fractured. So, he's battled on so far. But if he can't go for some reason, then changes things a little bit. But if they're at their strength,
Lasagna time.
Oh man, that guy shows up way more than you're expecting. He's always open in the corner, if you can believe it.
Okay, we got lots more still to come, but we got to take a quick break to thank our sponsors. So get your bingo cards ready, I guess. Guys, look at me. Yeah, look at my face. Look at what quarantine life has done to your boy Skeets. I look insane. My beard is long. It's gnarly. It's unkempt. It's crazy. Now what I want you to do is replace my face with my penis, because that's what's going on basically downstairs. This look right here, all of this, same thing down there. And I'm not proud of it. I've been lazy. But thank God for Manscaped, who are dedicated to helping me and you level up your full body grooming game. My dick beard is in dire need of the perfect package 3.0 kit, which comes with the essential Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and many other liquid formulations to round out the manscaping routine. You need the right tools for the job. You want to catch a bass, you need a fishing pole. You want to record a classic, you need a mic. You want to shave your pubes, you need Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code theathletic20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code theathletic20. And for a limited time, though they have a loose definition of limited, I will say, subscribers get not one, but 2 free gifts.
What are they?
Bag. Yeah,
what
the
are
Shed
they?
Travel bag, $39 value. Still $39 value. It's amazing.
That's good.
And the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped boxer briefs that you definitely want to wear if you're going to fall into a lake. So go to manscaped.com today and use the code theathletic20.
Viewers and listeners of our show will no doubt have noticed that, accidentally or not, every time Aaron Judge socks a dinger, I'm watching and I'm tweeting. I have no idea if socking dingers is a real term or if it was just used in an episode of The Simpsons one time when Mark Maguire made a guest appearance. But anyway, I'm going with it all season long. And the only thing I need to make it better is to sip some sweet nectar out of a mug while watching at Judgy sock 'em. Made out of a baseball bat, and thanks to Dugout Mugs, a company started in a college baseball dugout, now I can. Because Dugout Mugs is a company that turns the barrel of a baseball bat into a 12-ounce mug, perfect for guzzling whatever drink you desire. My wife, Roxana, just made her first batch of kombucha. It's percolating right now, and it will be ready in a few days, and I can't wait. Dugout Mugs are licensed by MLB, so they are legit.
Lee, I don't want to interrupt you, but can you put kombucha in a baseball bat?
We were going to find out in about a week's time, because that's how long the kombucha has to sit and ferment before it's ready. But in baseball, I mean, like in cricket, right? Guys have their favorite cricket bat, and they use that bat and they don't want to use anything else. Now, it's changed a little bit. Guys go through bats a bit more often these days. But back in the day, a guy had his favorite bat. In baseball, though, how many bats does a guy like Judge use in one game?
They have
use
their
one.
Yeah, they have their favorites too.
Yeah.
They'll have backups and stuff, but yeah.
But he doesn't change it every time he has an at bat.
No.
He doesn't-
No.
It's not like a tennis racket.
No.
Okay,
No,
so
he's
then-
got his. He's
Is
got
that
his.
what they do with tennis rackets?
Well, they have like 5 rackets per match, you know.
Sure.
Because
But then you want to keep the tightness
Yeah.
of a string.
Yeah.
No, it's the same thing as cricket. You want to keep that baby around. Could be a lucky stick. Maybe you toss it after a bad night, but probably not. You keep it
So-
around.
Okay, the point is though, I mean, Aaron Judge probably goes through quite a few in a season.
Yeah,
Meaning,
yeah. He's
right.
breaking.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I could get one of his, couldn't I? Made into a mug.
Well,
I guess
yeah,
not.
Interesting.
Sure. I wonder if Judgy has ever been looking at one of his bats going, God damn, I'd love to drink out of that.
I mean, I think about that all the time now. And so if you think about that, go to dugoutmugs/theathletic and use promo code MLB30 for 30% off your first purchase. That's dugoutmugs.com/theathletic and code MLB30. Baseball is back. Get your very own dugout mug today. Now, I have no idea how I'll go about getting a Judgy bat, but if anyone is connected with the Yankees and there's a spare one lying around, give it to me and I'll send it off to Dugout Mugs and I'll see if they can make a mug for me. Because I'm serious. It wouldn't be one of those things that's like sentimental, like too much for him. And if people are worried I'm going to put it on eBay, just chop it up first and send that to me then. You know what I mean?
I mean, you work for the Knicks. You don't think you have a connection in NYC to?
Not anymore. But the thing is, because I've seen those like creepy old men at a baseball game trying to get autographs. No, they try to get autographs and then put them on eBay. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like do that. I just want this mug because
I'm trying to drink from a baseball bat here.
Yeah. So if someone can get me that bat, let's make it happen.
Well, you could just get a Dugout Mugs mug made out of a baseball bat engraved with the Yankees logo. You love the Yankees.
Yeah, it's not quite the same though, is it?
No, I guess not. I
think something like this can happen. It's not like
sure.
it's not like, I mean, what would it be like? I mean, in basketball,
making a pencil out of Wayne Gretzky's.
No, I'm not saying, hey, give me a pair of Michael Jordan shoes, that are worth $1,000. A bat's worth what, $100?
Yeah, sure. Maybe a used bat has got to have a little bit more value.
What happens if he flied out though? I'm not talking like sucking a grand slam or something. Like he just flied out and he was like, I hate this piece of crap. And he threw it to the side and the bat boy said, oh, sweet. I was listening to this show the other night and they wanted this bat. Here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, your best bet is the well, do they even have them now with the pandemic? The ball boy or whatever, bat boy, I guess. That'd be, you're right. Get them to smuggle
They're
one out
raking
for
their
you.
own bats.
Yeah, you could definitely get one. He's got the same bat multiplied by 5. He's got like 5 of the same bat just in case one snaps, and ball boy's got to bring it out for him. So
that's what I mean. How often bats don't seem to break as often these days as they used to?
Technology's great.
Yeah.
Wood's getting harder.
Wood's getting harder. Yeah. Trees are getting stronger.
Yeah. The balls are getting lighter. Not as much force. When you were saying all of this though, it'd be cool if you could contact Judgy and say, hey, when you sock a dinger, what you got to do is take your baseball bat and pretend you're drinking out of it.
Oh man, that's a good
celebration. Yeah. Has anybody even done that?
Somebody's going to now. Somebody's going to be listening to this. That same bat boy is going to say, you know what? Thanks for the bat, but they also mentioned something else.
Yeah.
Next time you're out there socking dingers, act like you're drinking from the end of it. Everybody's thinking it. You do it.
That's a cool celebration. Taking a chug while you're running up to first base. Yeah.
I'm checking who he's following on Twitter to see if there's any sort of connection there.
All right.
Wow.
Okay, well, while you do that, let's get to a little bit of news. Guys, don't ever listen to Dr. Skeets, okay? A mere 12 hours or so after I confidently predicted that Russell Westbrook would absolutely play at the start of the playoffs. That's just who he is, guys. We learned, nope, that's not the case. According to Jonathan Feigen of the Houston Chronicle, the Rockets guard is expected to miss the first few games of the team's first-round series versus the Nuggets and possibly more tasks. I know we have our Western Conference playoff preview podcast. That's on Sunday, so I'm sure we'll get into great detail, but not good here for Houston. He won't be there for, I don't know, a game or two, as it sounds of it, right?
Yeah, this doesn't sound good at all. It sounds like, for the start of the series, of the first few games, that means there's some serious problems with that quad, and there's going to be a lot on, obviously, James Harden and Eric Gordon, who is coming back from injury himself. He is their other playmaker. When you got a team like this where you really only have 2 playmakers, 2.5 when Eric Gordon is around, it's a big issue for sure. The matchup is interesting that they have here with the Thunder too. The Thunder are not going to be a pushover by any means. I would have liked it a lot more if they're back with their old friends, the Utah Jazz, for the 3rd straight year, because they know the ins and outs of that. They don't need a ton of offense against that team, I don't think. But yeah, this is rough. This is going to be changes the series dynamic big time.
Ooh, save it, but possibly changing your prediction, at least the outcome of it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I stopped myself because I don't want to give away too much. Don't want to snap my bat here. When I step up to the plate, I want my 30 ouncer. I want that pine tar just the way I like it. Touch the bat and touch my helmet and knock off the dirt off my feet. Step out for a second, blow a quick bubble, step back in. Do they have gum these days? I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know. Is that banned? Man,
sunflower seeds were definitely banned.
Yeah.
Unsure about gum. At least it stays in your own mouth, I guess.
Yeah, you're not spitting gum. Yeah, did you have your routine tasks, your classic in the box routine, a couple taps here or there, whatever you did?
I'm simple though. No Mar Garcia power over here. Just keeping it simple, Susie.
Yeah. Well, what'd you do? I'm curious. Do you remember what you did?
I'm just more of a step one foot, read the signs, step the other foot in.
Yeah.
Little butt waggle, and then just have with the left hand on the bat, just put it where, just kind of gently over the plate a couple times.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, just standard. I wouldn't hit the plate. I'm not hitting the plate. I'm not one of those.
Oh, I'm a tapper. I'm a plate tapper. Yeah. Well, here we go. And then right up into it. Right up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not taking time. Not taking a ton of time. Just quick, just quick tap there. Double tap for sure. Anyone want to add anything else to the Westbrook? I know we talked about it already a little bit, and we are going to get into the predictions. Lee, anything?
Well, just it's a concern when they are saying the first few games. Like if they can't put a sort of date or a time on it, to me that sounds worse than it probably is. So it'll suck for him and the Rockets if he can't play at all in that series, because I think this has the potential to be the best series of the first round. But if Westbrook's not there, it's going to take a little bit of the sting out of it. I mean, Harden will go for 50 probably in that series. I mean, again, because Gordon is back, but you still think he's a couple of games away from really competing. So could be crazy. I mean, the Rockets doesn't, I know I'm obviously going to pick the Thunder, but certainly not going to be a whitewash by any means. The Rockets will still make this a series with or without Westbrook.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the battle of pace in this series, right? With it's not a good matchup in a way for the Rockets, in my opinion, because some teams fall into the trap of like, hey, we're playing pickup here, we're just firing threes. This is fun, this is cool. But I feel like Chris Paul is anti that. He's like, no, we're not playing that way. We're playing on the speed I want to play, and the style that we're gonna play. And we'll see how that clash happens there. I mean, I'm excited for that. Should be a good series though. But I'm with you. I mean, it loses a little juice if Westbrook isn't in the mix. So hopefully
it sucks, right? Because the guy's been playing so well and adds just another element. And it would have been fun to see, can a team that's built of all smallies actually perform well in the playoffs? And now we're not going to get a really good read on that if this is actually an experiment that Houston could continue, because Westbrook's going to miss whatever these games are. And then when he comes back, he's probably not at 100% when he comes back from an injury, right?
No.
It'll take a little bit. So we're not seeing the 100% Rockets probably throughout this whole first round. Maybe that's still enough to beat the Thunder, but it's going to be tough because OKC's got a lot of small guys that they can play as well, right? Like they could play a Danilo Gallinari almost at a 5 along trying to battle with PJ Tucker. Who knows? It could be fun. We could see some high scores, but Chris Paul will control the tempo. And I don't know. It definitely shifts my perspective as well.
Well, let's play a little, hey, what about this guy? Because yesterday the NBA added a Coach of the Bubble award to the mix. I thought this was a joke at first. I'll be honest. I saw the tweet go out. I'm like, that can't be right. Like, hold on. They announced that they were going to do the all bubble teams and there was going to be a bubble MVP. And then like a couple days later, like, well, we're going to throw a Coach of the Bubble in here too. But it's true. This will be voted on by the media members that are actually down there in Disney World. Is there a favorite? Is this Monty Williams award to lose? Can anyone take it from him, Lee? What do you think?
No, they may as well just give it to Monty as you didn't make the play-in, so you're going to have this trophy. Why not? I mean, who else are you going to really give it to out of anyone down there? I mean, Nate McMillan, maybe.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
I think Jacques Vaughn would have been interesting, especially if they got another win tonight. I think there may have been a case for him. Nate McMillan, okay, yeah. And maybe if the Spurs had somehow gotten in, you just go pop to. But I'm worried that they almost were like, I think the Suns are going to win every game, not make the play-in. Booker, despite going for 30 plus, is not going to win MVP now of this bubble MVP because it's going to Dame because they're going to get in. Well, we got to give him something. We got to do something. Well, why don't we just do a coach bubble? Oh yeah, okay, we can do that. Just give it to Monty Williams. And I'm sort of convinced that's what they did. Otherwise, why was this announced a couple days later? I don't really get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's not like unheard of to think of coach of the something since they have coach of everything else, right? It's like, coach of the bubble. That sounds good. It has a good ring to it. You're probably right. It's Monty Williams award to win, and he's going to win it. And he looked the best in the polos. So I feel like it's a double vote for Monty Williams. He killed it. The Suns killed it. So enjoy the award.
Yeah.
Ooh, I thought the Raps looking great in their light salmon polos as well.
Those were nice.
Yeah, the gray was a little weird on the collar, but I did like those. It is strange. I think we've had more coach awards handed out in the last 3 weeks than we've had player awards, right? Because there was the coaches, whatever it is, association. All 30 of them voted for Bud this season. Everybody loves coach awards. Everybody. So Monty's got to take it home. It's what Trey said earlier. Yeah, they need to have something commemorative, and they had a great run. And it's sad. It's sad that a team comes in 8-0 and still can't make the postseason. It's a little strange. It's a tiny bit strange. I understand the math behind it, and the Blazers went 6-2, so they're not in, but it's crazy.
By the way, the coaches vote split that between Budenholzer and Billy Donovan.
My goodness. Oh my goodness.
There's going to be 4 coaches of the year this year.
Yeah, there is. Nick Nurse is going to win the actual one.
Yeah.
You're right. The coaches split it between Billy Donovan and Bud, and then Monty Williams is going to win this one. Maybe there's a coaches award for this one too in the bubble. the coach's bubble.
Yeah,
Could be fine.
Between somebody else.
Could be fine.
Interesting.
Maybe that's where Jacques Vaughn gets it. Who knows? All right, final one. Henry Abbott's sources down in the Orlando bubble tell him that the NBPA. I hate reading NBPA. I always screw it up. Have you noticed that? Every podcast, I screw it up. The head of the NBPA, Michelle Roberts, met with players in groups on Wednesday. Now, everyone wore masks, according to Henry Abbott's sources, but there were a few key takeaways. These are interesting. Roberts expects the current collective bargaining agreement is toast. Rip it up. But she's optimistic about negotiating a new one. Okay, that's good. And next season will most likely be sometime between late January and early March. And those later dates would affect the Olympics if they started early March. Any takeaways from this? Again, Henry Abbott, he knows his stuff. He's got somebody down there inside the bubble feeding them this information of these meetings from Michelle Roberts and players. What do you think, Tass? What's your takeaway?
Well, I'm not going to claim that I am a CBA expert, but it's sort of logical when you think about the CBA was designed for a different time, a different era when everything was secure and we just understood what was happening from year to year to year. So it makes sense that they would want to at least rip it up, put it in the toaster and call it a day and be able to come up with something new. That second part that they're optimistic about negotiating a new one is very, very positive news. That's just almost unheard of, unless it's like a basic template off of the prior one with some changes. You just don't hear that in sports very often, that these two parties are coming up with a new CBA and are very close, like immediately. That's just not really heard of. So that's a positive. And I would say the last part about the NBA season moving to January, between January and March, it makes a heck of a lot of sense. And we talked about it last week. The fact that the further you push it out, the more likely you are to have fans. And this league has shown it can put a bubble together. It's shown it's very adaptable. So I think they're comfortable with not waiting until the last minute, but extending it more than any other league would be in the foresight to be able to say, hey, we can wait until, I'm not going to put a date on it, but wait till, the sort of the last couple months before the season starts and then start to fly and put things together because of what they just did. But it makes more sense because you're going to potentially have butts in the seats. And that's the important part. And as far as the Olympics go, I don't know. Doesn't really bother me.
I can't imagine they care all that much about that. I really don't. I've seen other reports, other leagues have stopped their season right while there are Olympics to allow players to go play in them. That seems far-fetched for the NBA for some weird reason to me, but maybe. I don't know.
They did that in the WNBA, I think, though, didn't they?
NHL has definitely done it for sure. Yeah, no, I think there are multiple leagues.
Doesn't it seem more likely, though, that the NBA will just not have their athletes there? Mark Cuban's been fighting against players playing in the summer for their national teams for a decade, right? I don't know. It seems like that's something that could happen, but I don't think that's something that's going to be a huge concern for the NBA trying to get a new collective bargaining agreement figured out, if that's what's the case. And once we heard the news that 40% of revenue in the current CBA comes from fans being in stands and that's going to be a big question mark for the league, something was going to change. And it seems like this experience of the bubble of the players and the governors all working together and seeing how it's actually been successful makes everybody want to work together again to try and get it figured out for the next thing so that they can continue to be successful, that they can continue to be the league that looks like they're doing everything right. So, I mean, this is encouraging. When we first started hearing CBA talks, it was like, the players better be careful or else the owners are going to rip this thing up. And that's kind of what's happening, but it seems a lot nicer now. And it seems like everybody's sort of more so on the same page.
Yeah. Let's figure this out together just to make a lot of money still together. And you have to have confidence in the two leaders of their respective parties in Adam Silver and Michelle Roberts. I mean, it does give you some confidence. They have what appears to be at least a great working relationship and respect for each other. And hopefully if it's ripped up, they get to work on a new one, and both parties, for the most part, are happy. Anything to add there, Lily?
Well, yeah, John Hollinger had an article, I think today it was, sort of saying how some of those Delete 8 teams, the owners weren't happy.
Yeah.
They might be going, potentially, 12 months before they get fans in attendance. So if you rip up this collective bargaining agreement, that sort of gives those owners a chance to somehow maybe like try to change the terms of it. I think that's what I'd be a little bit concerned about, because we know a lot of these owners are billionaires, in theory, but anytime they're losing money, they're going to try to recoup it. So to me, that's a sort of tricky little negotiation, that if all of a sudden this collective bargaining agreement is done and you have some owners who all of a sudden were projecting to bring in all sorts of revenue and they didn't do it, they may try some other tactic, I think. So I hope not, but
that's
we'll
true. Putting a lot of trust in billionaires is
exactly
sometimes worrisome. Yeah.
I mean, because we saw on the last one as well. I mean, they are not really going to budge too much. I mean, they want to make as much money as they can. And again, a lot of them, it's that paper wealth of being a billionaire, but they actually carry huge debts everywhere. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, hopefully people say, listen, we just need to get the game back up and running, and everyone's going to take a hit, because everyone is going to take a hit. So hopefully they can find some middle ground there, but I don't think it'll be super smooth anyway. I think there'll be some issues there.
Yeah. I'm just fascinated to see how serious the NBA are about waiting it out to the possibility of having fans back in arenas. Like, I mean, I've said before, the people I've talked to is like, there's no way they're doing this again. The bubble, as great as it's gone, they're just like, it's mad expensive. People aren't going to want to do it for an entire season. How the hell do you even do that? Wrap your head around that. Even if there's these regional pods and stuff like that, it's like, and they want to make money having people actually come to the arena, even if it's a reduced number of people you can put in your 15,000, person arena. So yeah, how long will they wait though? Vaccine comes into play, just how the country feels at that time of even the idea of going to an event. Like I can't wrap my head around going to going down to Phillips Arena with 5,000 people, let's say, even. Like, there's no way I'm doing that yet. Maybe there are others out there, but yeah, it'll be weird.
Yeah, it's very weird to think that, like, I mean, it's possible that the season could end in October and then they take 5 months off. That's even longer than we've been off now, right? Like the NBA finals that they're talking about starting in March.
Yeah.
That's a huge gap. We shall see.
Yeah. It's not much different though than the 4 months that we usually get, if between June and October. So I think just financially, they recoup so much money with what they're doing right now, and that goes into every owner's pocket. So I think the owners have to put their trust into Adam Silver to find a way to do it next season. He's done it. They collectively, it's not just Adam Silver, but he and Michelle Roberts and the MBPA and everybody have done it better than everybody else, and they're reaping the rewards right now. It can obviously go downhill, but they're all making that TV money. And it is going to be strange as far as the fandom part goes. That's whether they do separate bubbles, and then you're telling guys like bubbles, as in, you have bases, so you're not flying around everywhere,
right?
But maybe it's a little bit less strict of a bubble. But then you're sticking people again without their families for an extended. It's odd. So that's why they want the cleanest thing possible, and the cleanest thing would be start when they have vaccines, and maybe we can have at least 50% capacity in buildings or something to that effect.
We'll see. All right, let's get to Will. Honorable mentions to Karis LeVert, huge. Damian Lillard, honorable mention, not giving it to him. Maybe I'm just tired of giving it to him. Great game though, 42 and 12, ton of threes again. No, Will goes to Jonas Valanciunas. Jonas Valanciunas, Lee, 26 points, 11 to 17, 2 for 2 at the line, 2 3-pointers made for the big guy, 19 rebounds, an insane 12 assists. I still can't believe that. And he had a block to boot. It was neck and neck. It was Dame and Jonas. Again, maybe I have high expectations too for what even Dame's going to do on Saturday, and he'll probably be getting another one there. So Jonas Valanciunas, Feels good to give him one too. The former Raptors big man. Call me a homer. I don't care.
Come on, Skeets. You saw that Bass Pro Shops trophy game and knew you had to follow suit. When you see somebody out there tossing some lures and it's working, you got to do the same thing. I get it.
Oh, I couldn't believe when I saw that. I got so excited for you, Trey. I was like, oh, Trey's going to love this graphic.
That's such a great name, huh? The trophy game? Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
It is. All right, Lee, tweet of the night.
Well, yeah, just before we get to that, one other thing from that game, the Jonas Valanciunas game, Chris Middleton basically had a chance to end the season 50, 40, 90.
Yeah.
But he ended up going 5 for 13 from the field. So he ends the season at 49.9, 41.6 from 3, and 91.9 from the line.
You weren't listening to the podcast earlier tonight when we were recording?
What, did you say that already? Oh. I was looking up that, and I was also looking up.
We addressed it. I'm glad.
Okay, Jonas Valanciunas' career high 5 assists. He's done that a few times. So
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
great.
yeah, I'm trying to fact check here live, but you miss a few things,
Sure. Well, I hope you got a tweet of the night.
Yeah, I have. It was going to make more sense if the Nets had won, because it comes from Streaky. It comes from Streaky Shooter. He says, the Suns waiving Tyler Johnson, who then gets signed by the Nets and helps them beat the Blazers to allow the Suns to make the playoffs, would absolutely be the funniest 4D chess move in NBA history. Yeah, it would have been. So, yeah.
Still going with that one.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah. I actually had a tweet from Mark Cuban earlier in the day, because I'm not going to mention this shithead who was tweeting about NBA ratings, but it's like, I just want to say, if you don't want to watch the NBA, then fuck off and don't watch it. No one cares, because there's a clown out there who keeps on tweeting like, oh, yikes, NBA. Don't watch it, man. No one cares. Yep. No one cares, and no one wants you. No one wants you. Same goes for the president. Doesn't want to watch it? Fuck off and don't watch it then. Seriously. Who cares?
Hey,
man.
My man. Jeez, that's the real tweet of the night right there.
Like people coming in, man, it's like Ricky Gervais says, on Twitter, like when you tweet something and people like take offense to it, it's like when those people put the, those pieces of paper up on like a signpost, like says guitar lessons, and someone's walking past and they grab one and they say, right, and they get their phone number and they're like, I don't want fucking guitar lessons.
Right, you can just, walk right by it. You don't
seriously, man. I listen. I know NBA is not competing with the NFL in America, right? Globally, it's not even close. NBA is miles ahead of the NFL. But I don't care if you love NFL, watch it. You don't see me tweeting out and say, oh, fucking, I hate NFL. Like, this is crap. You know what I mean? I just don't watch it. It's the same, so when people try to use those ratings, and by the way, Mark Cuban, as the owner, I expect he has the more clarification on those ratings. And he pointed out some things to that clown about those ratings. And again, it's like, oh, man.
Wow, you can tell it's our 15th consecutive night here of bubble wrap, and it is our last one. Lee's over this. I love it. I love the passion, man.
Lee, I don't want to correct your correction, but I think because we did talk about earlier that Chris Middleton came into the game 49.9, and for some reason, after going 5 of 13, NBA.com has him at 49.7, and they've updated it to 62 games. While Basketball Reference still behind, still lagging.
Basketball Reference is usually a day behind anyway. But I was actually on ESPN, so maybe. But that seemed to update. But
how many games you got there? How many games do you play on that? Or you
tabs you got open?
Let me open it up again, because ESPN usually it takes a few hours after the game, but they finish up. Let me check it out.
Yeah,
well, it sounds to me like Chris Middleton sucks at shooting now.
I'm a little surprised. That he didn't just sort of get a couple of layups and then be like,
he tried. Yeah, it wasn't working for him.
Why not?
I think if he had hit, did he just need to hit 2 in a row, or was it a little bit more, and then he could have been like good, like to start the game? I forget. I saw somebody tweeting it. 2 or 4. It
definitely had a 3 early that he turned down that he could have shot, but he said, you know what? I might as well go for a layup here. And then he missed the layup and he missed a 3. I don't know how much he was thinking about it, but I'm just biding some time until Lee finds that thing that we don't
Yeah.
really.
What's Lee
find.
looking for now?
No,
What are you looking
game-
for? Let's go
games
to bed,
played.
man.
Games played is 61 still at ESPN.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we got 62 here on NBA.com. Unfortunately, John Schumann isn't live with us tonight for some crazy reason.
Wow, 61, 62 feel like socking dingers all over again back in 98.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect
all right.
outro.
So, big pick'em results happened earlier today. That Bucks Grizzlies game was the game we were picking, and Milwaukee was favored by 4.5, or at least that was our line. I don't know if we got that from the dark web. I can't remember anymore. But anyway, Tass and Lee took Milwaukee to cover. They didn't even win. They got hammered. So that's a loss for Tass and Lee. That puts them to 8-7 here in the bubble. Well, Trey and I, we picked the Grizzlies to win, to cover at the very least. They get it done. That improves us to 8-7. That's right. We have a 4-way tie right now as we sort of wrap up the seeding games. And we said we were going to call it after the seeding games. So what are we going to do here? I mean, I know there's basketball being played tomorrow, Tass, but no one cares. Ourselves included. We're going to go right into our podcast previews.
Yeah, I don't want us to be betting on whether or not Frank Mason's going to have a good game. You know, no offense to Frank Mason. Every time I see Frank Mason play, I ask, "Who is that?" I figure it out, and then I forget it. About 25 minutes later, I love Frank Mason, but the rest of the rest of all the rosters. There's 4 games. Everybody, you look up and down every single matchup. Unlikely to be playing their A guys. So what are we doing here? It's just, there's no use. There's no use for that. So I'm not going to force us all to go to ESPN.com and then NBA.com. and so I think we should just wait till Saturday when the lines are out for the MegaBowl, the Blazers and the Grizzlies, because they're not out, and we got to take this seriously. We can't mess around and just make up a line. So let's just put it up online on all our channels.
Okay.
On our Instagrams, our tweets. We don't FB a lot, but maybe we'll put it on FB too. And we'll go from there. We'll see who loses, and then we'll make a decision, because maybe we'll have a Sunday game.
It's possible. It's possible. So, hey, Money Mellis, though, if you were setting the line, what are you setting this line? Grizzlies, Blazers, Saturday, 2:30, ABC. Grizzlies got to win to stay alive. What do you think?
Well, we know the Blazers are the favorites. How fat is that thing? I think it's higher than, I think a lot of people, listen, there's 4 of us right here. We all expect the Blazers to win. They've got to set a line to get money on both sides and to understand and to predict the game somewhat. So I think it's going to be fatter. I'd say 4.5.
Ooh, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's going to be
Nice.
Yeah, I thought you might go a little higher. I thought you might go. What's that, Lee?
I think it's a little tighter than that. I think it's 2.5.
Tighter?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
What this is like a Super Bowl, eh?
Let's get Cam Stewart on the line.
Sure. You guys want to do another hour? Get Cam on, talk some horses.
I'll tell you what, overs the picks. Whatever it is, there's a lot of points in this game.
All right, so we're going to wait to see what the line is for Saturday's Mega Bowl. I can't believe how sweet is this. It's ending with us actually picking the Mega Bowl game. I mean, we coined the term Mega Bowl for it. Well, Semi-Pro did, but we took it from that and threw it on this game. And that will be the game that will ultimately decide it. We've never been all tied, right, at the end of a month. We've had a couple guys tied, but no way we've had all 4 with the exact same record.
Unprecedented year. Unprecedented.
Crazy times, crazy podcasts, crazy bubble wrap run here. JD, unbelievable work, my man. Hats off to you. Hey, if we're clapping for the Spurs streak, I'm clapping for JD's streak of staying up super late here and getting up these podcasts. Guys, check out the brand new shirt we dropped at nodunks.com. Subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Just because the bubble wrap might be done doesn't mean the YouTube videos and maybe even the live YouTube videos doesn't mean they're done. No. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit that little notification for the No Dunks YouTube page. And if you listen to the podcast on iTunes, keep leaving your boys a sweet 5-star rating and review. The schedule, it's like this, guys. Friday, tomorrow, we're not going to worry about these games that are on. Yeah, they're still playing down there. We're going to record our Eastern Conference playoff preview podcast. We'll have that up for you on Friday. On Saturday, we're going to take the day off. First day off in, it'll be like 16 days. To enjoy the Mega Bowl, we're going to watch it. We'll make sure we get our picks up on it. across all social media platforms. And then we'll see if they need a second game. We'll see what happens. We will have a bonus popping packs for you. Hopefully, Lee, what happened, man? You were supposed to record with Derek Harper today. It got pushed back a day or something. What happened?
PP's got PP'd. Yeah. So tomorrow we're happening 2:00 Eastern. Spoke to Derek today. They had a game. He said, you know what? I'm just a little tight before game time. Can we do it tomorrow? I said, D-Harp, of course, my man. Anytime you're ready.
All right. So that will hopefully we'll have that live on Instagram tomorrow, and then we'll hopefully twist that around, throw it around, and throw. What am I trying to say?
Turn it.
Throw it.
Turn it.
Turn it. Pizza. No, we'll make a little pizza out of this thing. We'll slap a little sauce on it. We'll throw that popping packs up on. Oh God!
Okay, it's baseball. Baseball
so
talk. Twist that double play.
And then on Sunday, we're going to record and drop our Western Conference playoff preview. All right. Did you follow that? Couple preview podcasts of popping packs that may or may not happen. And that's it. Game 1 of the playoffs start Monday, August 17th. First game, Utah at Denver. 1:30 Eastern start. Yeah, we were waiting to see what the schedule is going to be like. We're going to be playing games all day again, guys. It's going to be like, the 1:30, 3:30, 6:39 type thing. So we're going to figure out our playoff podcast recording schedule, but that's when the games start. I mean, I almost hope that the Blazers beat the Grizzlies on Saturday. So there's one day without basketball. Just one day would be nice where nothing is happening. But hey, who cares if it's another game?
A 4:30 start on Sunday as well. I didn't see that.
Yeah. That's
out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Game. Crazy. All right, so let's call it there. That's the end of Bubble Wrap. These have been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us live on YouTube, and of course for downloading and listening to the podcast. And we're not going anywhere. Keep your eyes and ears out for that playoff preview podcast, both of them. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you're not watching us, you won't get this joke, but that's okay. It's totally fine. Justin Reyes said, relax on your bed of roses there, Skeets, because Skeets is wearing a shirt with roses. He's got a bed behind him. Have a great sleep on that bed of roses there, Skeets.
All right. I'm going to go sleep on it. Embrace the night, people.